no matter what happens, I think that everyone is going to be really, really entertained and really pleased to see some great jiu-jitsu.
How about you, Trey? No time limit for the Who's #1 heavyweight belt, Gordon Ryan versus Felipe Pena. What are you thinking about this one?
Man, this is what I got to say about that. That's exciting stuff. Put the kids to bed, call your mom, write a letter to your grandma, and let her know that Gordon Ryan versus Felipe Pena is going down tonight on Who's #1. I couldn't be more excited. I think this one could turn into a slobber knocker, Sears.
Absolutely. Kyle, what are you thinking about this main event?
Probably the most important match of the year. You know, I know Galvão and Pena, Galvão and Gordon is also a really important one, but due to the grudge that both of these guys have with each other, Gordon needs to to prove a point. So I'm excited to see where he's gonna take and how he's going to do it, and how Felipe can stop him.
All right, let's go ahead and do a quick rundown of the card, and then we'll get to making our picks. So first off, the prelims, the first 2 matches, free on our YouTube account. Next 5 on the main card, only on FloGrappling.com. Up first, we're gonna have Esteban Martinez, the Giant Slayer, versus Diogo Hayes, the Baby Shark. Second match after that, the second prelim, Fabian Ramirez versus Fabricio Andre, the Hokage. Then kicking off the main card, we got Jay Rodriguez versus Jacob Couch. Second match on the main card, Elizabeth Clay versus Lady Go, Bia Mesquita. Third match, Alan Sanchez versus Mika Galvão. Fourth match, the co-main event, Rafael Lovato Jr. versus Nicholas Marigali. And then in the main event for the Who's #1 heavyweight title, Felipe Pena versus Gordon Ryan. I'm going to run it down the line here. I want you guys to tell me what's your favorite match of tonight's card. Kyle, what are you looking forward to the most?
Of course, Gordon and Felipe Pena is the match that I'm looking forward the most, but I believe that the best match of the night will probably be Mika and Alan. I think that's going to be a very unorthodox match, and I'm really looking forward to watching this.
Kendall, what are you most looking forward to tonight?
Man, top 2, Nicholas Marigali and Rafael Lovato Jr. I think both that match is what I'm really looking forward to. But I have to definitely give a shout out to Liz Clay and Bia Mesquita. It's a match that I've wanted to see for a really long time personally, and just 2 of the most amazing women in our sport. I think it's going to be a really cool time to see Elizabeth Clay fight someone truly in her weight class and see how they bang it out.
Man, I can't wait for the Giant Slayer versus Baby Shark. This match is going to be crazy. It's going to be nothing but fireworks. I can't believe we're giving this one away for free on YouTube, if I'm being honest with you. So I'm super stoked to see that one is kicking off the entire card. I can't wait.
Shout out to our sponsor, Tezos, giving out another submission bonus. You get one of these if you get a sub, 500 Tez. I think it's equivalent to 700, 800 something dollars, US dollars. But all right, let's go ahead and start making picks. Let's start at the bottom of the card, the very first match of the evening. Esteban Martinez versus Diogo Hayes. I mean, this is a great matchup. I'm really looking forward to this one. It's going to be nonstop action. What do you think about this one, Kyle?
So I'm actually excited for this one because Mikey had a really hard time submitting Esteban due to his short limbs and, his submission defense. So I'm excited to see how Diogo is going to handle that. I do believe that Diogo will take the win. No problem, but due to his
no problem
because Diogo is actually at a really, really, really top level. But I'm excited to see how it's going to play out.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's start making picks now. Esteban Martinez versus Diogo Hayes. I'm going to go with Diogo. I think I got Diogo winning this match. The Baby Shark, I think he's going to be a little bit too much for Esteban for the Giant Slayer. But, I mean, Esteban's tough to finish. We've seen Mikey Musumeci have a very hard time finishing him. I'm going to say Diogo. You got – what do you just –
I got Diogo, of course.
All right.
I don't think that we're going to see a submission in this match, but I do think that Diogo is going to outpace him. I do think we're going to see a couple more backflips from Esteban, which would be great, but I think Diogo's going to come out with the win.
Yeah, I got to agree with you guys here. I'm going with the Baby Shark, but I disagree with you, Kendall. I think Diogo is going to be able to find the back, and he's going to be able to get the submission in this one. Esteban, one of the hardest to submit on the Who's #1 stage. We've seen it before, but I do think that Baby Shark can find his way to the back, and he's going to be able to get the choke for the win.
All right, the second match of the evening, the second prelim. Fabian Ramirez versus Fabricio Andre. What are you thinking about this one, Kyle?
Fabricio, I think, is going to come out really explosive, and I wouldn't be surprised if he actually get a submission right in the beginning of the match.
Right in the beginning?
Right in the
away?
beginning, yeah.
Man.
What are you thinking, Kendall?
Man, I think that Fabricio Andre is, when you look at this fight sports team that's coming out like super excited from Brazil, they have their amazing rash guards, which you might be showing us a little bit later, I don't know. I think that they're coming out with a lot of passion and just really wanting to show their jiu-jitsu. Those guys have so much fun every time they're on the mat. So I do think that we'll see a submission, but I think that Fabian also keeps a really good pace. I think he's a really, really tough person to submit. So I think the match will go a little bit longer, but yeah, it's gonna be a banger.
All right, J-Rod versus Jacob Couch, the first match of the main card. Trey, what are you thinking about this one?
Man, this is going to be a super interesting one. So we have J-Rod, the West Coast Trials winner at 88 kilogram, going up against Jacob Couch, a bit of a fan favorite here on the Who's Number One stage. I think this is an opportunity for Jacob Couch to get a little bit of redemption for falling short at ADCC Trials, but I also think J-Rod wants to keep making his name known, that he should be at the top of the sport with these guys.
All right, the second match of the main card, Elizabeth Clay versus Bia Mosquito. Kendall, you said this was your favorite match. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I think this one is really interesting because I think Bia looks the strongest that she's ever been and like the most jacked, like just put on a lot of muscle, and then Liz Clay has come down. So we haven't seen them before going together because they've usually been at opposite sides of the division or of divisions. And it'll be really cool to see Liz use her really aggressive, open style with its full of submission attacks against somebody that's going to go head to head with her, that she can move around, that's her size, right? She usually has a hard time with people that are a little bit bigger that may not engage the way that Bia does. But Bia just constantly moves forward in a match, so I think that we're going to see some incredible passing from Bia, hopefully some good attacks from Liz, and I do believe that this is going to be one of the most exciting matches on the card.
All right, so going on to Alan Sanchez versus Mika Galvão. You said this is going to be your favorite one. Kyle, what do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, Mika is definitely the favorite to win, no doubt. But Alan is, a 10th planet guy who is extremely hard to submit, has really good submission defense. His style is very unorthodox, and it maybe can throw Mika off. You can't forget that Alan won EBI and also won Nogi Worlds at brown belt, submitting all his 5 matches. So, I'm picking Mika, but this is definitely going to be the match of the night.
All right, on to the co-main event, Rafael Lovato Jr. versus Nicholas Marigali. Anybody? Trey, what do you think about this one?
Man, I think this one is a super interesting one. We got Rafael Lovato Jr., the OG American, versus Nicholas Marigali, someone who's had a couple fights now on the Who's Number One stage. Every time Marigali steps onto the mats, he looks way better than he did before. Obviously, he's accomplished the top of the sport in the gi, but he's still trying to make it known that he's a no-gi guy now. He deserves to be on the mats with Lovato, and of course he wants to put on a good performance leading up to ADCC.
Yeah, it's interesting because he does want to be a no-gi guy, but we have Lovato who has been the no-gi guy.
That's right.
He has been the guy. He's just cemented it like himself in the history books as far as no-gi goes already. So I think this is the toughest, without a doubt, this is the toughest no-gi challenge that Marigali has seen, and I think it will also be a really good predictor leading into ADCC and give us a little bit of a taste of what we can look forward to in September.
Versus Gordon Ryan, one of the biggest possible grudge matches in the sport. Felipe actually weighed in a little bit heavier than Gordon, 228.6, Gordon 227.8. No time limit for the heavyweight belt. Kyle, what do you think about this one?
This is a really hard match to call, after everything that happened this morning. But I'm looking forward to see Gordon show more of his jiu-jitsu because his last match was very, very impressive. Before this match, I actually had Preguiça winning, but after his match with Pedro, I see it really hard for Preguiça to win now, especially today. But it's a match that I have been looking forward, for since their last match, and I do think that Preguiça, the longer the matches goes, actually Preguiça has a better shot, due to like his resilience. He's very resilient, and his match against Rodolfo Vieira was incredible in the beginning. Rodolfo was kind of outpacing him, but Preguiça just kept on going, and in the end he came out with a win. So I do think that Preguiça can do it again that way, but due to the circumstances, I would go with Gordon tonight. All right, I guess now we're going to do the pick'em. So
We already said ours. I already said I picked Diogo earlier. I think the Baby Shark's going to be a little bit too much for the Giant Slayer. I'm going with Diogo Hayes winning the first prelim of the evening. Kyle.
Diogo.
Need you to elaborate a little bit more.
Diogo will win, and I think he's going to get, just like Trey said, the submission on the back.
Kendall.
Yeah, man, we did go over this, and I think that I just had the same feeling that I said before, that I don't think there's going to be submission. I think it's going to be really fast paced, and I think we'll see some backflips, but I am going to go for Diogo.
Man, you know what? Since earlier, maybe I changed my mind. I'm just kidding. I'm going with the Baby Shark still. We're all going with the Baby Shark. Diogo, I think he's super amped up to make his Who's Number One debut. He wants to put on a show. He's got his boys here with him from Manaus, so got to go with the Baby Shark.
On to the second prelim of the evening, Fabian Ramirez versus Fabricio Andre, the Hokage. I'm going to go with Fabricio. I think he's probably a heady betting favorite here. ADCC Trials winner. I'm going to say Fabricio takes this thing over Fabian. What do you think?
I think that Fabricio is going to put him down, and he's going to play top, and he's going to put up a passing clinic tonight and win.
Specific. Yeah, I think that Fabricio is just such a firecracker of a competitor. Fabian has a good pace, and he's hard to finish, but Fabricio, I think, is going to start the pace and finish with the pace.
Yep, I'm also rolling with Fabricio. I think he's going to find a way to get on top, and like Kyle said, I think his top game is just too good. He's going to dominate from that point on, so got to roll with Fabricio in this one. All
right, I think we're going to be a little bit more split on this next one. J-Rod versus Jacob Couch, ADCC West Coast Trials champion versus ADCC East Coast Trials bronze medalist. It's a tough one to call. Both these guys are very dangerous, both very young in their careers as well. J-Rod, he wears people out, and he, you know, as we saw at the trials, as we saw in the Giancarlo match, which he lost, but he was damn near finished it near the end. But I'm going to say Jacob Couch exposes the leg lock weakness in J-Rod. I'm going to say Jacob Couch probably gets to a heel hook early on and wins.
Two exciting fighters, but I think that this match is really good for Jay because Couch will attack the legs, pull guard, attack the legs, and the leg attacks become scrambles, and J-Rod is an incredible scrambler. And in the end, the longer this match goes, the more slippery you will get, and the easier it will be for J-Rod to apply his game and get the win versus Couch.
Yeah, this is a great match. Like another one of my favorite on the card, especially with all the things taken into consideration with where they came up in the ADCC trials and things of that nature. But I do think that Couch is going to take this one. I think that J-Rod has an excellent way of implementing the same game over and over, the same sequences over and over to competitors. And while he's excellent at that, I think that Couch excels when he can slow people down and kind of like slowly get to where he wants to be, whether it's attacking onto the leg and then slowly getting the finish, or it's close guard or getting to the back. So I think he's going to be able to slow down the pace of Jay, and I think he's going to get the win.
I'm also going with Jacob Couch here. I think it's going to be a back and forth match. I think J-Rod, Couch will come out, pull guard. J-Rod's going to pass his guard, maybe take his back, get Couch in a dangerous position, but I think Couch is going to get out, eventually get into a leg entanglement and win via heel hook. All
right, so 3 out of 4 going for Jacob Couch, the Hillbilly Hammer. They're on to the second match of the main card, Elizabeth Clay versus ADCC champion, the Lady Goat, Bia Mesquita. I mean, Elizabeth Clay, I love her style, very exciting grappler. She's moving down in weight, which is interesting. She had a great match against Gabby Garcia, who's number 1, but I think you got to go with Bia Mesquita. Bia Mesquita is such a legend. I think her passing might be a little bit too much, and she's so relentless in this rule set. I think Bia is very dangerous. I'm going with Mesquita.
I think that Elizabeth I know that Elizabeth will probably pull, and Bia will be leading the passing, while Elizabeth is going to probably try to attack her legs. I think the way for Elizabeth to win is actually not submitting on the legs, but coming up on top from one of those leg attacks and passing Bia's open guard. Bia has an amazing close guard, but I believe that Elizabeth could pass her open guard and maybe get a submission from there. But I don't think that's the way that she's going to play, so I believe that Bia will come out with the win.
And this one is really tough to call because if we look at the last match that Bia Mesquita had on Who's Number One when she fought Luisa Montero, I thought we were going to see a lot of relentless passing in that match, but we actually saw her a little cautious, in my opinion, in Luisa's guard. So I think that she's going to respect Liz's guard a lot, and that could make for an interesting case of, you know, when Liz starts to chase, we'll see what happens with Bia, if she fights back or if she kind of pulls back. So I think that Liz is going to have some serious submission attacks, but I do think Bia is going to come out with the win in the end.
I got to go with the Lady Goat, Bia Mesquita, as well. I think Liz obviously has a very tricky guard, but I think Bia's top game is just too good. It looked incredibly good against Luisa Montero, so I think she's going to be able to find her way on top and then just stay dominant on top.
All right, 4 out of 4 for the Lady Goat there for Bia Mesquita. On to the third match of the main card. Alan Sanchez, EBI champ from 10th Planet, going against Mika Galvao. Prodigy Mika Galvao, the youngest black belt world champion in history, has the chance to become the youngest ADCC champion in history this year as well. Mika only 18 years old. I mean, it's hard to pick against Mika with basically anybody. I think you got to go with Mika here. I think he's just on fire right now. I'm going to say Mika probably gets to an arm lock, gets on top, gets to an arm lock somehow in passing. What do you think, Kyle?
Yeah, I got to go with Mika, but, you know, Mika will definitely have the positional dominance. But if Alan gets an opportunity for a submission attempt, he's really good at those, and he might get it.
I agree. I think he could find something sneaky. I really do. I think that we'll see some good attempts. He has a very open style game, and he's kind of a sleeper. Like, I've seen him in multiple matches where he was behind and he came back with a submission. So I think that'll be great. But again, I got to go with Mika. I think Mika's going to end up taking it.
Yep, I love Alan Sanchez, great guy. I think he's going to be an interesting test for Mika Galvao. But, man, I got to go with Mika Galvao. I'm wearing the uniform. Vamos, Brazil. I'm picking Mika for this one.
Clean sweep there for Mika, just like the last match, just like a few of these matches. I think we'll be more split on this one. The co-main event of the evening, Rafael Lovato Jr. going up against Nicholas Marigali. Marigali's third ever Nogi match. He's 2-0 here on Who's Number One. These guys weighed in pretty similar. Lovato 223.8, Marigali 224.8. This is a heavyweight match, no weight limit. Both these guys competing at 99 kilograms at ADCC. It's going to be interesting. Just like Lovato said in the press conference, there's not a lot of tape out there on Marigali and Nogi, but Marigali is a hell of a competitor. I'm saying Marigali takes this thing. But it's going to be a close one. This one's kind of a toss-up, but I'm going with Marigali.
Both of these guys are very well-rounded, bottom, top, standing. But in the end, if the match goes to the ground, I can't see any other winner besides Marigali. Marigali is incredible. This is actually, like Kendall said, it's a good match to see how far Marigali has progressed with ADCC right around the corner. But I can only see Lovato winning if he drags the match as long as possible standing, you know, try to put Marigali down with maybe a kochi or a single leg, you know, from like a clinch or a necktie, and then a double leg. But on the ground, it's hard to pick against Marigali.
All right, Kendall, who are you going with here?
You guys have no faith. I think that it's hard to underestimate how much experience Lovato has in the Nogi game with a rule set like this. I mean, what he has done over the years is just incredible. And of course, nothing taken away from Marigali, but his experience is going to be a little bit different, the feel, the timing. And he's been having a great training camp, but I do think that Lovato, the way that he's coming out on fire for this, his last ADCC, he's had such a big year, just had his twins, he's so excited to be here. I just think that the heart that he has is going to prevail in this match, and I think he's going to end up winning on the feet, and he's going to start to pass, and he's going to dominate from the top position. I don't know if there will be a submission. I think that would be a lot, like really, really pushing it for this kind of match at this caliber, but I do think Lovato's going to dominate.
Man, this matchup, a couple legends going at it. I'm going to do a late switch up on my pick. I'm going to pick Lovato for this one. I think both these guys they want to turn this into a wrestling match, and I think Lovato might have the upper hand in the wrestling department, so I think he'll be able to get Marigali down, but I think it's going to be a back and forth match. I think this one honestly could go either way. Definitely going to be a great match. I'm excited for this one.
I convinced you, huh?
Yeah, you convinced me. Won me over.
On to the main event, Felipe Perguisa Pena versus Gordon the King Ryan. Heavyweight title on the line. No weight limit, 228.6 for Pena. Gordon slightly lighter, 227.8. No time limit. This one is going to submission. It's going to be no time limit match. Hopefully not as long as our last no time limit match. Gordon says no more than 45 minutes. But really looking forward to this one. But I think under this rule set, it's hard to pick against Gordon Ryan. Not only is he so good at getting submissions, he's so good at escaping bad positions that I think it's going to be hard to finish him. I think this no time limit is going to be really tough to beat Gordon. Kyle.
Yeah, like I said, you know, before what happened today, I had Gordon winning before 30 minutes or Perguisa winning over 50. The 30 to 50 minutes would be like in a gray area. But I don't see today this match dragging it over an hour. So I'm gonna have to go with Gordon today.
All right. This is my
one I'm looking forward to.
teammate, guys. This is my teammate. I have
We
to
got
go
to keep
with-
putting Gordon against Gracie Baja people here for Kendall.
Yep,
Every
Gracie
event.
Baja roots run deep.
Dude, it ran my entire life, right? So, yeah, Felipe Pena for sure has to be my pick. Now, I will say the last time Gordon was not very happy that I chose Pedro and he tried to take it out in the match, talking to me in the match. I don't know if that's going to happen tonight, but I don't think it's going to matter either way. I think Pena's going to come out with the win. I think he's going to be especially motivated to fight with a lot of heart tonight, and I think that we're going to see a submission.
How do you think he's going to get to the submission? You think he gets to the back again?
Oh, he's going to take the back again.
Felipe keeps saying he's better at wrestling than Gordon. Kendall, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, man. At wrestling is really hard to say. I feel like I haven't seen Felipe wrestle in a while, to be honest. But I would say that even if he does get taken down, I think that he will find a way to the back. I think he's going to find a way to the back, and he's going to get the submission from there.
Man, I got to go with Gordon Ryan. We're talking about the king here. You know what I mean? This guy's been running who's number one since he first started competing on it. So I'm picking the king. I'm going with Gordon Ryan. I think it's going to be an incredible match. I think we're going to see Felipe Pena put Gordon in a very dangerous position. Maybe he'll get the back, but Gordon stays so calm, so collected. He's just so good now. He's going to get out of it and eventually get a submission of his own. So I'm going with the king, Gordon Ryan.
So you guys are safe, and I need to make sure my car still has tires after this event.
Gordon's gonna try to pressure pass Felipe, but you know, it's really hard to get close to Felipe. You know, he plays such a good open guard with distance. It will be hard for Gordon to get. I think that Gordon's gonna have to get him tired first. You know, he's going to struggle to pass Felipe's guard right in the beginning. I hope he proves me wrong too, because you know, last time he dragged the match too long because, you know, of the things that I was saying, trying to put the guy down. So, you know, maybe he'll prove me wrong, try to get the pass, the submission quick, so we can see like a really, really good match. You know, Felipe attacking, Gordon attacking. But Felipe is resilient. He's not going to give out that submission. I believe that even if Gordon gets close to submitting him, Felipe will escape, you know, probably multiple times, you know. And that can break Gordon. That can break Gordon. I can see Felipe winning too. You know, I believe that this, like I said, is the match of the year, right? But, you know, although Galvão is fighting him later on, this is the match of the year.
You can't count out Felipe. He's an ADCC absolute champion.
I mean, what I'm taking from the night is I'm very convincing. This is what I'm taking.
All right, so you said Felipe's got a chance to win. If you're coach of Felipe, how would you tell him? What's his path to victory here tonight against Gordon Ryan?
Well, the main thing for him is to put all those emotions aside. You know, I can't imagine how he's feeling tonight. He has to put those emotions aside and just play himself. You know, I actually believe that Felipe, if he plays his jiu-jitsu, he can win tonight with time, being calm, you know, because he's a very tough person to submit. You know, he's an incredible submission artist, especially from the back. Even Gordon recognizes that. So if Felipe gets to Gordon's back, which is extremely possible, he can get the submission.
Do you think Gordon will set him up for the back, takes off the leg locks again? Do you think he enters the legs, or do you think he tries to play somewhere else?
I actually think that it would be smart of Gordon trying to go for the legs, not because he can tap Felipe. He may be able to, but because he will get Felipe's legs tired, and Gordon needs to get Felipe tired. You know, he needs to get his legs tired so he can get that pressure passing going. Because Gordon will have a hard time passing from distance, so he's gonna have to close that distance.
All right, so again, shout out to our sponsor Tezos with this Tezos submission bonus tonight, 500 Tez. If you want to get the free Tezos NFT poster tonight for this event, it's available only during Tezos Who's Number One, Gordon Ryan versus Felipe Pena. You scan the on-screen QR code and connect your social media to it. You stay tuned for more drops, including one-on-one coaching and exclusive seminars with Jiu-Jitsu's biggest athletes. I'll give you all a chance to say something before we get out of here. Kyle, what do you got to say?
I'm really excited for tonight, and I'm really happy that a lot of people are supporting the event, not just in person but online. You know, there was a lot of people saying that today should be canceled, you know, because of what happened earlier. But you know, in the end of the day, this is what Leandro would want, right? Leandro would want us to host it. Leandro would be watching the event tonight, you know. So I'm really happy that it's still going on, because you know, all these guys who flew all over the world, you know, had their training camps and everything. So it's really good to show that, you know, jiu-jitsu is still alive, you know, and Leandro will be here with us, you know.
All right, so we're going to go quick commercial break. Come back for Tezos, who's number 1, Gordon Ryan versus Felipe Pena, presented by Fat Tire. Shout out to our other sponsors, Swain Mats by Dalimer and Defense Soap. All right, R.I.P. Leandro Lowe. God bless you guys.
I'm sorry, Mike.
No, you did good. So I'm going to show you guys how you can claim your free NFT. All right, so during the stream, you're gonna see a lower thirds like this pop up. You wanna pull out your phone, scan the QR code. That's gonna take you to the Tezos website where you're gonna be able to claim your NFT. So now if you see what I'm seeing right here, you're gonna scroll down, hit claim NFT. You're gonna link your social media account of your choice. All right, so boom, I put in my Gmail account. We're into the Gmail account now. You can see that little load screen. Tezos is loading me up. It's cooking me up a fresh NFT. I cannot wait. And boom, success. An NFT is on its way. You can hit view your NFT. There it is in my wallet, the exclusive Who's Number One, Who's Next finale NFT, only available on July 14th.
The Tezos blockchain is designed to be different. It's built to be powerful but flexible, allowing even the most rigid of frameworks to evolve and update over time. It's a network built to last, designed to seamlessly adapt to the mysteries of tomorrow. Stronger today than ever before, and even stronger tomorrow. When great new ideas emerge, Tezos will be ready. And so will you. Tezos, designed to evolve, built to empower.
FloGrappling returns to Frisco, Texas, the sports academy at the Star for Tezos, who's number 1. Gordon Ryan versus Felipe Pena, presented by Fat Tire. Now, we are set for an historic grappling moment in history because this is the 3rd match in what has become the greatest rivalry in no-gi grappling. I'm Hal T, joined as always by my broadcast partner, Chase Smith.
Man, I am so excited. This is one of the most special rivalries in combat sports history, and especially jiu-jitsu. These two have forged an incredible relationship over the years, and a lot is on the line tonight here. A lot is at stake, Hal.
Well, you mentioned this has gone on for years, this rivalry. Let's take a look at some of the most significant moments that brought us here. Now, this rivalry really began in 2016 when the brash, the upstart, in his rookie year as a black belt, Gordon Ryan, he was challenging everybody. And Felipe Pena, he accepted a closed-door super fight at Studio 540.
Yeah, it's amazing to think that this footage is from 2016. And when the dust has settled, we can see Felipe came out on top after 45 minutes of competition, securing the choke and the win and igniting one of these most compelling rivalries we've ever seen.
The first and only person to hand Gordon Ryan a submission loss. Now, that took us up to ADCC 2017, approximately a year later. Gordon Ryan tore through the 88 kilogram division to win gold in a very unexpected turn of events, set up a rematch with Pena in the absolute final.
Yeah, we would not have seen that coming when that event was just announced, and here we are in the final of that absolute bracket. And once again, Felipe Pena showing off the craftiness and the skill and the technique. He was end up the champion that day as well. He
had to fend off a very dominant-looking Gordon Ryan in that tournament, but earned the gold medal in the absolute division of ADCC, thereby sealing his legacy. Now that brings us up to now, 2022, some 5 years after their last encounter. Ryan and Pena are set to face off once again in a no-time limit, submission-only super fight here at Who's Number 1. So, let's talk about Gordon Ryan, because a lot has changed in those 5 years, right, Chase?
Yeah, Gordon is an entirely different animal these days. His entire grappling game has changed. No longer just the leg locker. He's a different beast out there, Hal.
He is indeed. An 82% submission rate. Gordon Ryan doesn't just go out there and win. He goes out there and he wins emphatically. He has submitted the vast majority of his opponents in the last 5 years in every rule format you can imagine. Submission only, points, no point, you name it. And he's able to do it through a variety of methods.
That's correct. And if you saw his most recent performances at WNO, you would know that the mount is a key factor in Gordon's latest strategy. And I think there's a strong chance we may see some of that tonight.
So we've took a look at Gordon's game. Let's take a look at Felipe's. Now, Felipe is an incredibly versatile grappler, a great all-rounder, a champion, both gi and no-gi.
Yeah, Felipe is an athlete that has continued to evolve over the years, finding success gi and no-gi, and eyeing a career in MMA. You have to wonder what tricks he has in store for Gordon tonight, as he's something that always brings something fresh and new to the table, Hal.
A wealth of experience in a variety of rule formats, and Pena has the kind of dynamic game that matches up very well, some analysts say, against Gordon's, but all questions will be answered here tonight on the mats at Who's Number 1. But that's not all, because we have a stacked lineup of submission-only super fights to look forward to. As you can see, a total of 7 matches this evening. Our main event, Gordon versus Pena, and a co-main event, Nicholas Marigali and Rafael Lovato Jr.
Yeah, easily one of the most anticipated matches of the night, if not the year, is Nicholas Marigali versus Rafael Lovato Jr. Marigali so far 2-0 in his no-gi career, taking on the veteran and Rafael Lovato Jr. Now, on paper, Rafael should have the advantage in nearly every category, but Nicholas Marigali is a special athlete, has the X factor, and making everyone wonder what might take place later this evening.
The youngest IBJJF Black Belt World Champion in history, Mika Galvao, returns to Who's Number 1, and he takes on the very dangerous Black Belt out of 10th Planet and EBI champion in Alan Sanchez.
We'll also see the return of the Lady Goat in Bia Mesquita, making her second appearance at WNO in a non-title fight at 145 pounds against Elizabeth Clay. Opening up the main card is Jacob Couch, one of our favorites here at WNO, taking on ADCC Trials winner Jacob Rodriguez, also known as J-Rod.
And as always, our first 2 prelim matches free to watch on our YouTube channel. Those feature the Fight Sports teammates of Mika Galvao making their Who's Number 1 debuts, Fabricio Andre and Diogo Hayes. Andre taking on Fabian Ramirez. You saw him just a couple of weeks ago on the Who's Next finale. And Diogo Hayes taking on the Giant Slayer, Esteban Martinez. I think that a reminder for our viewers, of course, that this main event match is a no time limit submission only match. We are guaranteed a definitive method of victory. The only way to win is by forcing your opponent to tap out, but the rest of our matches will be held under regular Who's Number One rules. And I think the best thing to do is Reed, take it away please, and tell these guys what they could expect.
Welcome to Who's Number One, the premier proving ground for the world's best grapplers. And now right here on this very stage, 2 grapplers will enter and only one will leave victorious. All matches are 15 minutes in length, except where otherwise noted, with no points, no advantages, and no interruptions. Just elite competitive grappling. There are 2 ways to win. The first is, of course, the most preferred, by submission. And here at Who's Number One, all submissions are legal. Heel hooks, arm bars, twisters, and beyond, the world's best have all the tools at their disposal. And if at any point either competitor taps, the match is over. But if there isn't a submission, we will rely on 3 neutral side judges to determine a winner. Their decision will be based on our Who's Number One judging criteria, which is unique to this mat. Now, above all, we are looking for aggression. That means never taking a backward step and moving forward at all costs. We're looking for dangerous submission attacks. That means attempts that will result in a near submission, okay? Leave your 50-50 ankle locks at home. We don't need them. And if it doesn't result in a reaction or a hyperextension, they simply won't count. And finally, positional control. That means guard passes, mount, back takes, anything that leads to positional dominance. The match will be judged in its entirety, and the person with the better display of effective grappling skill will get their hand raised. The referee is also neutral and does not take part in the judge's decisions. His role is purely to control the action on the mats and reset the action should it go out of bounds. This is elite grappling competition at its purest form. A showcase for the world's best grapplers on the world's biggest stage. Just the best fighting the best. It's the only way to truly find out who's number one.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready for a great night of action? Are you ready for a great night of action? We are live on FloGrappling from right here in Frisco, Texas for Tezos. Who's number one? Gordon Ryan versus Felipe Pena, presented by Fat Tire. You will enjoy 7 incredible bouts with the best grapplers on the planet. Who will decide who's number one? Fans, are you ready?
Big Shark, and I am black belt Mandamel Galvão. In the Prelims Brazil in January, I won. My jiu-jitsu is very aggressive and strategy, and a lot of submissions.
I'm Esteban, the Giant Slayer Martinez, and I'm a black belt representing ZR team. My jiu-jitsu, I would describe it as pretty explosive, fast, and like a lot of cardio. I like to make as much excitement happen in the match, so I feel like fast-paced flips and rolls are exciting.
I started a lot with his fight. If he don't stop, he fights for it, and fight against me will be 15 minutes, non-stop fight.
I believe me and Diogo have the energy to be fight of the night.
I improved a lot of my wrestling, so I'm very confident.
This time I'm gonna be a different person. They could expect to see something they've never seen before. You ready, Esteban? Because I'm coming. Megalodon.
Those the jaws?
Yes.
Baby shark.
Let's meet the competitors for our preliminary match number 1 in the featherweight class. This will have a 15-minute time limit. Wearing the blue, competing out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, and representing ZR Team, Esteban, the Giant Slayer Martinez.
If you've ever seen this guy to compete, then you know what to expect, because Esteban Martinez is one of the most entertaining and energetic competitors that we've ever seen on the Who's Number One mats.
Absolutely a fan favorite. Esteban is one of the most dynamic grapplers out there today. Expect at least one cartwheel in this match, and I can't wait to see how he performs against the Baby Shark, who's coming out next.
And his opponent, wearing the red, training out of Manaus, Brazil, and representing Fight Sports, Diogo Baby Shark Hayes.
Making his debut here at a Who's Number One, to a big reception from the crowd here in Frisco, Texas, is Diogo Hayes, aka the Baby Shark. Now, he is an ADCC South American Trials winner, and it's a very dynamic Nogi game that I'm sure he's very eager to put on a show here tonight at Who's Number One. Tail of the tape, as you can see, Diogo Hayes is only 20 years of age. Esteban Martinez has the age experience, but you can see the height, 5 inches for Diogo Hayes, and he cuts about 9 pounds to make that featherweight 145-pound limit. Our main referee this evening, our man in the middle, our head referee, is Gabriel Martins, about to get things underway here at Who's Number One.
Ready?
Fight! Now, if you know anything about either of these athletes' game, I would expect a ferocious pace right out of the gate.
In the black is Esteban Martinez, and in the yellow, a very distinctive Brazil rash guard, is Diogo Hayes. Now, Martinez told me that he, for the first time in his life, has really started working with a wrestling coach. He's got a D1 wrestler working with him, and, you know, up until now, his very effective wrestling game has all been a result of his high school wrestling experience, Chase.
Wow, I wouldn't have guessed that watching his career the last couple of years. He is pretty confident on the feet. Again, also that goes to his escapes on the ground. If he goes for a little bit of what might be a sacrifice throw, he feels that he can get out of a lot of dangerous spots. And we see there immediately manages to get back a little bit of a guard here against Diogo here after that failed takedown attempt.
One of the greatest things about Martinez is he just has an endless gas tank. He can just pour the pressure on for 15 minutes, and he usually uses that just endless energy to overwhelm his opponents. But I think that Hayes did the very smart thing here in not just putting Martinez down, but really making sure that he stayed connected to him, because the last thing you want to do is give Esteban Martinez any space.
Yeah, controlling Esteban is definitely the challenge at hand here, and Baby Shark doing a great job of that, putting on a nice cross face here, really making things uncomfortable. But again, Esteban sort of always finds a way. I mean, even against, you can point to his match with Mikey Musumeci, one of the best finishers today, was unable to do so in the course of their 15-minute match here at WNO.
That is a great observation, Chase. You know, the fact is that Martinez went a full 15 minutes against one of the very best bantamweights or featherweights in the world today, you know, Mikey Musumeci. But look at this, Hayes is playing very patient, very close-quartered game, right? And he uses that kind of a body lock passing sequence almost to force this turtle position. Is not giving up that grip around the waist. And very smoothly rolling, has one hook in. This is total control.
Really fluid transitions there from Hayes, looking very confident, removing his hook seemingly without really issue, switching off to the crucifix here, but Esteban rolls on top.
The escape from Esteban Martinez, so effective. The way that he was able to remove the hooks, looked like he was possibly in danger of getting trapped in a crucifix for a moment there, but uses the escape to come out on top. And now we'll test Diogo Hayes' guard. The first time we see Hayes actually on his back attacking. Martinez has an opportunity to try and pass here. He said that he's not going to do as many backflips as he usually does.
Oh, okay. Well, that still leaves room for at least 2. I mean, typically there's 5, so let's see what happens here.
Nice come up there from Diogo Hayes, using that ankle control to find his way back onto the top, and again, not giving Martinez any space. Now, I think an advantage for Diogo Hayes, I'm not just talking about the size, because Esteban Martinez goes up against opponents bigger than him all the time. A regular face in the absolute divisions, hence the nickname, Giant Slayer. But Diogo Hayes has the advantage in that he has so much tape to study on Esteban Martinez, because Esteban's a very prolific competitor, very active, so you know Diogo's done his homework.
Yeah, fair play. Plus, of course, his coach, Melky Galvao, one of the more cerebral minds in jiu-jitsu today. They don't take any chances down there. They've definitely watched the tape and studied very well, I assume, for this match.
Something very notable that I have only just noticed is that the coach's chair for Martinez is empty. It's very rare to see a high-level competitor appear on Who's Number One without anybody in his corner, but whereas Diogo Hayes has the twin figures of Melky Galvao and Victor Doria in his corner, coaching him through this match, Esteban Martinez is flying solo.
Kind of a back attack shootout here with Diogo getting a little bit better look at that exposure there. Esteban rightly abandons that, what you might call an attack there, to go back to more of a guard.
One of the things about Martinez is, of course, much has been said about his physical size. He's only 4'11". He competes, he weighed in yesterday at 133 pounds, but he has found a way to turn that to his advantage. He is able to escape out of positions that other people can't. He's able to use his body in a completely different manner to many competitors. And while Diogo Hayes is doing his best to close the door and to stay as tight as possible against Martinez, Martinez always manages to find a way out, to turn in, to turn away. And as we said, never stops moving.
And here we see our first instance of judges' favor going to Diogo Hayes, the Baby Shark. Now, just a reminder for our fans at home, that is not a point or a score. It is just an indication of what our judges are thinking at this point in the match. They are not additive. It could change, and it doesn't matter how many, if they have 2. Generally, you wouldn't have 3 and somehow lose, but in any case, it's just a window into our judges' minds.
Exactly. It's more of a visual indicator of how they think the match is going up until that point, but no rounds, no points, no overtimes or anything here. Who's Number One is just straight 15 minutes of action, submission only, or judge's decision if it goes the distance. And one thing I'm really liking here is that, I'm sure the jiu-jitsu purists will agree, is the posture, the passing posture of Diogo Hayes, the way that he is able to enter in and out of Esteban Martinez's guard. And that is often one of the most difficult things to do, isn't it, Chase? It's not just to pass the guard, but it's even to deal with your opponent's guard and put yourself in a position to pass while also staying free of any counterattacks.
Yeah, great point. I mean, that's the initial battle in guard passing, is to enter at a safe range. And Diogo has done that at will throughout this match here. Not necessarily always achieving a full pass, but sort of dominating those early moments there. And now we see him really putting the pressure on top here.
Had a brief look where thought that he was going to go into the mount for a moment. Went into a knee slide position and tried to drop back for a leg attack, but as we mentioned, Martinez is just able to squirm his way out of positions that many other grapplers wouldn't be able to. And a very interesting fact against Esteban Martinez is, as a black belt, he has never been submitted in his weight class. It's only when going up against opponents who weigh 200 pounds or more that he has been submitted.
Esteban gets a brief look at a heel, nearly gives up his back, but again, showing off the scrambling ability, getting out of danger here. Now it's Hayes that's forced to defend here.
Esteban has an outside heel hook here. See Reyes has addressed it. In the process, it seems that Martinez may have exposed his back. And there, Reyes settles into the north-south position. Just over the halfway mark in this match. And I think that it's pretty clear that there is one person in control so far in this match, and that is Diogo Reis.
Maybe setting up a Kimura here. Or dropping off straight arm lock. Loses the grip. And Esteban again. Looking to come up on top.
Esteban Martinez, originally hailing from Albuquerque, New Mexico, now based in Fayetteville, North Carolina. A ZR team member, a black belt. Trains regularly with who's #1 veteran Gabriel Souza. Also his training partner and coach Diego Ramalho. Oh, look at that though. Reis, once again, manages to come on top. And I'm loving the way that he's playing such a smart game here, because he's managing to come on top, but he's doing so in such a way that he is just stapling Martinez to the ground. This is probably the least I've seen Martinez move in a match because of Diogo Reis' just excellent control.
Yeah, great point. Maybe thinking about a head and arm choke here. Esteban hip to it, but well said. You know, this is probably the most mat time we've seen where Esteban has his back on the mat, and right now he's doing a good job of picking himself up with these underhooks and getting into deep half. But it just goes to really show how crafty Esteban is as a competitor out there.
One of the greatest challenges for anybody going up against Esteban Martinez is attempting to find an effective submission against him, because the leg locks have proved to be ineffective, the arm locks have proved to be ineffective, the length of his limbs is actually it's a factor that helps him in defending submissions a lot of the time. People aren't accustomed to trying to take an arm so short. And I've never seen him choked, even from the back. We're dead to rights. I've never seen him choked.
Yeah, another beautiful back attack there. Great transition from Diogo Reis.
Oh, that's
might be slamming on the choke. Can't quite see from here. Nope, no.
There was a brief moment of recognition from the crowd here. And I think that is no surprise whatsoever to know that judges favor for the second time in this 15-minute match, just after the 10-minute mark. Diogo Reis still favored. And Reis very calm performance. I think this is remarkable to note that he is only 20 years of age, and yet realistically this guy's got over a decade of competition experience, competing all the way up through the color belt ranks. Arrived on the black belt scene about 2 years ago, thereabouts. Since then has very quickly established himself as a world-class competitor, both gi and no gi. Will make his ADCC debut in September after having won the South American trials.
Oh, looking for a triangle now.
Switches to omoplata. Esteban manages to roll through and just deftly removes his arm from danger. And Diogo Reis went into that ADCC South America. There is the first of the backflip that we've seen from Martinez.
Right into a toe hold though for Diogo.
Compromised his positioning significantly, did Martinez. Diogo Reis coming up on top with this kind of reverse ride. Martinez is looking for a leg lock of his own, but doesn't quite have the leverage to really get that toe hold. And the South American trials were, for me, it was the first opportunity that I'd really seen, the first opportunity to watch Diogo Reis' no-gi game, and I was so impressed with his well-rounded game. And we've seen a bit of that here tonight. He's played top, he's played bottom, he's had leg exchanges, he's gone for upper body attacks, his riding, everything about it has looked just where it needs to be.
He just looks in the zone, very comfortable, like you said, through all transitions. Doesn't matter exactly where he's playing. But the same could be said for Esteban, right? Like Esteban may be losing the pacing and the attack war here, but Esteban is very happy to ride these transitions and look for a moment of his own. But it's definitely Diogo Reis who's doing a little more effective grappling out there right now.
2.5 minutes remaining in this match. Diogo Reis hasn't really been in a bad position yet. That is just a restart, a neutral restart, I believe, in the center of the mats. course, our referee, Gabriel Martins, if they go to the safety area, nice shot there, good, great slide and penetration from Martinez. Diogo Hayes manages to extract his leg from the grip and very easily puts Martinez down. I think that's where that size and strength advantage comes in handy. Hayes weighed in at 145 yesterday. Probably is on the scales at over 155.
Oh, here we
now.
go. Great transition from Diogo Hayes here, looking for the head and arm choke.
He has plenty of time to get work on this. Sometimes this Katakatami choke can be a bit of a slow burn. He needs to get a good squeeze on it, and you can see that Martinez is doing his best to defend it. Looks tight. You see the color changing on Martinez's face. The pressure is definitely on, but is it enough? Is it enough to cause a tap? Looks like Martinez has found just enough space to survive.
The speed at which Hayes was able to look at that choke was incredible, right? The transition was lightning fast.
I love the recognition of the crowd here. Stop. They appreciate the fact that Esteban Martinez was able to get out of such a troublesome position and back onto his feet and right back on the counter attack. And if he's going to go down, Martinez is going to go down swinging. He does not stop until the final bell. Oh, look at this. There is a possible rear naked choke here as we enter the final minute of the match. But Martinez's defense, he's so tough. And reverses the position so that now he's on top. Nothing but respect here for Martinez's durability and survival skills in the face of going up against a bigger, stronger opponent than Diogo Hayes. Into our final 10. One last arm lock attack there from Diogo Hayes as the clock runs down. And love this crowd reaction. Plenty of appreciation for our competitors here at Who's Number One. Our first match of the evening will go to a decision.
All right, can you just hang on right here on
well, we'll find out who took that in just a minute. Let's take a look at some of the best moments of this match. Chase, why don't you talk us through it?
Yeah, Esteban Martinez found himself in a familiar place here at WNO, and it was the Baby Shark making his debut. Came out fired up and continued that pace throughout this entire match. Great control work, great transitions and scrambles. We saw a lot of facets of Diogo Hayes' game tonight. The same could be said for Esteban. His durability, his defense on full display. A lot of fun, and it's a great way to kick off the match here this evening at WNO.
There was the failed backflip attempt. I think Hayes actually was so well prepared for that. He knew about the flip attempt before it was even really coming and was able to take full advantage of that. The wrestling, the riding, the ground control, really all factors, I feel, in what could be a very clear decision winner here in our first match at Who's Number One. Well, we're going to pass it over to our announcer for the official decision.
After 15 incredible minutes, we'll go to the judges' cards. Your winner, by unanimous decision, out of the red corner, representing Fight Sports, Diogo Hayes!
Yeah, absolutely no surprise there that Hayes took a unanimous decision. It was a competitive match throughout. However, it was definitely clear who took it. And now Kendall will talk to the Baby Shark.
All right, we are here with Baby Shark. Congratulations. That was an amazing match, a beautiful 15 minutes. Can you talk us through a little bit about your game plan? What was the thought coming in? Esteban is notoriously known to be hard to finish. What were you thinking coming into the match?
So I came to submit him because everybody says it's very hard, and I say, okay, I wanna see this. So it's very hard. He deserves all the credit because he's so small and he don't have a scare. He accepted any challenge. So very good to fight against him. Can't wait to fight more.
And how do you feel going into ADCC knowing that you could be the youngest person ever to win ADCC? Is that definitely what you're looking for in September?
Can you say again?
Yes. So you're going into ADCC and you could potentially be the youngest person to ever win ADCC. What does that mean to you? What are you thinking going into September?
This year, this September will be crazy. I think one of the big events around the world. So I'm very happy to make part of it. So can't wait for that.
Awesome. Let's hear one more time for Baby Shark. Congratulations and see you soon.
Can I talk português? Fala galera do Brasil. Quero agradecer a todos que estão apoiando a gente, que quer assistir a live. Sei que é muito difícil estar acompanhando, mas eu agradeço a todos o apoio de vocês. Eu amo meu país, isso aqui é por vocês. E também quero desejar meus pêsames para a família do Leandro Lô, ícone do esporte, nossa lenda. Que Deus conforte o coração dos familiares dele. I say about Leandro Lô, all my condolences for his family, that God comfort the hurt of their family. It's very sad for the jiu-jitsu community. And also, I want to say thank you my coach, Belk. He's the guy. He pushed himself so hard for us, and we are here because of this guy. God bless you. I want to say thank you my manager, Victor Dora. Love you, my teammates from Manaus, Escola Mel Galvão, Fight Sports. I love you guys. Thank you FloGrappling for giving me this opportunity to win. Sorry I'm talking a lot, but this is very important for me. Thank you so much. Now I want to see who is next.
Thank you. Congratulations.
A great way to get things started here. Who's number one? We'll be right back with more action after this break.
I'm going to show you guys how you can claim your free NFT. All right, so during the stream, you're going to see a lower thirds like this pop up. You want to pull out your phone, scan the QR code. That's going to take you to the Tezos website where you're going to be able to claim your NFT. So now if you see what I'm seeing right here, you're going to scroll down, hit claim NFT. You're going to link your social media account of your choice. All right, so boom, I put in my Gmail account. We're into the Gmail account now. You can see that little load screen. Tezos is loading me up. It's cooking me up a fresh NFT. I cannot wait. And boom, success. An NFT is on its way. You can hit view your NFT. There it is in my wallet, the exclusive Who's Number One, Who's Next finale NFT, only available on July 14th.
The Tezos blockchain is designed to be different. It's built to be powerful but flexible, allowing even the most rigid of frameworks to evolve and update over time. It's a network built to last, designed to seamlessly adapt to the mysteries of tomorrow. Stronger today than ever before, and even stronger tomorrow. When great new ideas emerge, Tezos will be ready. And so will you. Tezos, designed to evolve, built to empower.
This Tezos Who's Number One is brought to you by Tezos, the energy-efficient blockchain and official partner of Flow Sports. Tezos, designed to evolve, built to empower. Visit Tezos.com to learn more. Presented by Defense Soap, now the official soap and body wipe of FloGrappling. Protecting you for over 15 years. Defend what you have built.
Hey, my name's Fabian. I'm a brown belt out of Sarah BJJ and Vanguard BJJ. My jiu-jitsu is dynamic. When I get going, when I get people off balance, you're gonna see a flurry of attacks. I know he's explosive. I know he loves anime too.
My name is Fabrício André, but you can call me Hokage. I'm 22 years old and I'm black belt under Melky Galvão from Manaus. Hokage is crazy, man. I'm gonna jump and I'm gonna try to submission. I'm prepared to defend Fabian's attack.
I come alive in competition. There's something deep inside of me that just like burns to compete. You're gonna see me going hard, so can't wait.
My jiu-jitsu is very aggressive, and I like to finish my opponents.
These opportunities don't come every day, and I'm always ready. So yeah, I was excited more than anything.
I'm very excited for competing. It's my first match in Who's Number One.
Fabricio, our names are too alike. That's why the captain's coming for you.
É Toys, cachorros loucos.
The competitors in our next preliminary match in the featherweight class. This match will have a 15-minute time limit. Wearing the blue, training out of Long Island, New York, and representing Sarah Jiu-Jitsu, Flavor Fabe.
Fabian Ramirez returns to Who's Number One after having competed here on the mats just a couple of weeks ago at the Who's Next finale. And Flavor Fabe, as he likes to be called, a brown belt, looking for his first victory here on Who's Number One.
And his opponent wearing the red, out of Manaus, Brazil, and representing Fight Sports, Fabricio, the Hokage, Andre.
Fabricio Andre, all the way from the Amazon city of Manaus in Brazil, the hotbed of jiu-jitsu. Again, making his Who's Number One debut, the teammate of Nika Galvao and Diogo Hayes, and I'm sure looking to make a statement here tonight, Chase.
Yeah, Fabricio Andre is someone we've had an eye on for a long time. Super flashy, a lot of speed here. This should be a don't blink kind of match.
Oh yeah, Hokage has one speed and it is all out. As you can see on this tail of the tape, Hokage is only 22, Fabian Ramirez is 29. But in terms of height and weight, both evenly matched. Although I feel that looking at them, Andre has probably cut a fair amount of weight to make this 145-pound limit. Our referee, Steve Hodgett, about to get things underway here.
You ready? Ready?
Fight! And it is a go in our second match here tonight at Tezos, Who's Number One.
Now don't be surprised if Fabricio Andre launches into a flying attack. We've seen him do it many times before. Even pulled off a world championship title in the gi doing such not that long ago, Hal.
Yeah, Fabricio Andre has a very dynamic game. He is an absolute monster with triangles from every position, whether it is top, whether it is bottom, whether it is flying from on the feet. A very dynamic submission artist indeed, a big character, as much as a fantastic competitor. And it was a very nicely timed inside trip, Kuchigari style, putting Ramirez down on the mat. And much like his teammates, both Diogo Hayes and Mika Galvao, Fabricio Andre also won the ADCC South American Trials. Diogo Hayes won the 66-kilogram division in the first South American Trials. And a week later, Fabricio Andre followed up by winning that same weight class at the second South American Trials, therefore qualifying 3 men from the same training room in Manaus, Brazil, for the 2022 ADCC World Championships. So this, just about 6 weeks out, is a great opportunity for Fabricio Andre to really show the American audience exactly what his jiu-jitsu is like.
Yeah, and what was really incredible about those ADCC Trials runs was just looking at his past experience in no-gi being rather minimal, but it doesn't seem to matter here. Look at that incredible dump as Fabricio Andre establishes great Zipo control here.
We said he was dynamic. That shot to the back and a very well-timed pickup and mat return there from Fabricio Andre. Seems like we've got a quick timeout there. Oh, he's going to restart them in the center in that same riding kind of position from the rear body lock. Position from the rear body lock. But Fabricio Andre based on what we saw from that little wrestling exchange, I would say seems to have a clear strength advantage in this match.
You've seen his arms, right?
He's pretty jacked. I mean, he's walking around. Yes, he's only 5'5", but he looks a lot bigger than 145 pounds, that's for sure.
I'm sure that squeeze is coming in handy right about now as Andre looks to solidify this position a little more. Fabian doing his best to get out of danger, but Andre's not someone you get away from easily.
Ramirez doesn't mind going up against people bigger and stronger than him, though. He's competed in open weight matches many times. He's a gamer, and he's doing his best here to try and clear those hooks and escape this back control. Trying to get his back flat to the mat, but Fabricio Andre. Oh, there we go. Ramirez is up and out and to his feet. And Ramirez, he lost the decision to Max Hansen, who outweighs him by a solid 20-25 pounds just a couple of weeks ago on the Who's Next finale. But Ramirez went a full 15 minutes with somebody who was a full weight class bigger than him. Didn't seem to phase him. So somebody who's only 10 pounds heavier than him, maybe not such a big deal.
Yeah, I may feel more at home out here. It's also worth mentioning that in the first episode of WNX, Fabian went 40 minutes, I believe, with Andrew Tackett before eventually falling just short there.
Another competitor who outweighs him by about 20 pounds.
Yeah, and there were a lot of escapes in that matchup as well. So you can tell that he's very confident in his defense and is going to try and find an opening when he can.
Oh, he's a gamer for sure. For Fabian Ramirez, coming out of Long Island and training with the Sarah Jiu-Jitsu team there. Based in, he's from East Meadow, New Jersey, but training in Long Island, New York with Matt Serra Jiu-Jitsu team, one of the best established Jiu-Jitsu schools in that region. The only a brown belt, I say only, I'm using little air quotes, only a brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu, whereas Fabricio Andre is a black belt, but it's no-gi. Does that really matter, Chase?
I think we've proven that is not exactly, but oh my goodness, what a toss from Fabricio Andre.
Amazing use of the underhook, the upper body control there. It's stepping through, huge hip toss. Looks like Ramirez was going to land on his head, but managing to spin out and take that fall, that impact on his back. And you can see that right here, Fabricio Andre has a double top wrist lock control. Was looking for a kind of an Americana, but in forcing Ramirez to turn away, exposes that back. Man, that impact, that was such a big throw.
That might have been one of the biggest throws we've ever seen here at WNO. Great work from Fabricio Andre. Definitely getting ready for ADCC. You can see him putting the work on the feet, and it's showing here tonight.
And no, even though this is a submission-only match, let's make it very clear here, a reminder for our viewers that, all right, points don't exist in Who's Number One, but effective grappling is considered by our judges. So takedowns, control, pin control, all adds up when it comes to a decision. And right now, our judges favor, no surprise, Fabricio Andre. Because should it go the full 15 minutes, as our first match did against Diogo Hayes against Esteban Martinez, Chase, they're not just looking for submission attacks, they're looking for everything.
No, it's a holistic approach here at WNO, and throws are very important, especially when it gets down to it. In this case right now, I think it's a considerable lead here for Hokage and Fabricio Andre.
Number of big takedowns. It was an attempt at a foot sweep. Fabricio Andre, though, the one thing that he hasn't done so far, we're only 5 minutes into this 15-minute match, haven't really seen any significant submission attacks as yet.
Still a lot of time left here as we just approach the 9-minute mark. And I think Fabricio is really workshopping his wrestling. I think he wants to end up on the back, but he'd be happy with one more takedown, I think. Or two.
As you say, plenty of time to work. These 15-minute matches, you will see the athletes pace themselves because 15 minutes of non-stop action with no break. It's quite a physical test of endurance because, jiu-jitsu is many athletic demands, not just the cardiovascular, but the strength, the isometric strength, explosiveness. It's very difficult to find those moments to rest. And Fabian Ramirez kind of backs up into the center of the mat. It looks like he wants to go forward, but every time he does, it looks like he's just running into a brick wall. Like Andre barely budges. Again, uses the footwork to go directly to the back control. And now you see Ramirez looking for a leg attack. It's a decent outside heel hook there. There was a look on Fabricio Andre's face there for a moment. He didn't like that. That was a decent look at an attack right there, Chase.
Yeah, beautiful work from Fabian there to take the transition and put it in his favor. An unorthodox heel hook there, but well done to really fire a shot across the brow there and know that he's still in this match.
You know, the one thing that you can say as well, because leg locks, sometimes they can look effective and they could be a million miles away, or vice versa. Sometimes it doesn't look much and the guys tap in. But a key element of judging the success of a leg lock and the effectiveness of it is look at the guy's face. Look at his reaction. Does he have that moment of panic flash across his face? How does he react? Is he calm in his response, or is his response urgent? And I felt like that definitely was a decent leg attack from Ramirez, but that seems to have ignited something in Hokage here, because Andre is immediately back on the attack and in a very powerful position.
Now we see a little more controlled approach from Andre. He's going to try and cook Ramirez just a little bit here, put some pressure on, tire him out. He knows he's got the tempo lead here. I think he would like to pass one more time, maybe start looking for the back again.
One thing I did mention though is about Fabricio Andre is the second time that he's had a top position. He's had a controlling position, a pin, and yet didn't really do anything with it. You know, was there and was holding the position, but didn't even attempt to separate the arms away from the torso, didn't even attempt to work on the neck or even force Ramirez into a worse position where he could attack from. And I think it is not enough to simply control your opponent here who's number one. We do want to see the submission attacks as well. And I would like to see Fabricio Andre. Oh, no, nice ankle pick. His wrestling is so smooth.
Yeah, really, really effortless work there, just timing it perfectly. Again, ends up in a nice passing position here.
As we come into the sort of right about the 10-minute mark, just over 5 minutes remaining in this match, I feel like there's still plenty of opportunity for Fabricio Andre to attack and to really stamp his authority on this match.
Stop! I'm liking the sense of urgency from Fabian Ramirez here. He knows he's down.
Oh, yeah. And I think that from Ramirez, that's kind of smart as well. Bide his time a little bit, see what Andre has got, and I'm sure we'll have our next judge's favorite in just a moment. Be interested to see how that one goes.
Judge's favor, red.
Yeah, no surprise there. Fabricio Andre gets the second judge's favor as we go into the final 5 minutes of this match. But there's a nicely timed guard pass straight again into this knee belly kind of control, but a very low posture. Could be looking to force Ramirez to turn once again.
Great work from Fabian there to get back to seated guard.
Yeah, something of an escape artist is Fabian Ramirez. And I like the way that Fabricio Andre was pinning that wrist to the mat, but backs up in a way. I feel like he's looking for something specific because he's actually given up the control position to kind of back away. And I feel like if he's in a position that he doesn't, it's not in the game plan, let's say, it's almost like he's given it up. It seems to be set on something. Can't quite work out what it might be though.
Fabian seems to really want to enter into the legs here now. You know, he's playing a little more coy early in this match. Didn't want to give his strategy away, but with only 3.5 minutes remaining, he knows that's kind of the Hail Mary he needs to achieve. But Fabricio Andre's passing just looks so good out there.
That footwork is just something else, really. the way that he's able to maneuver himself around the legs. Really impressive. And now get a little bit more of a squeeze going from top here. You can see he's really maintaining contact between himself and Ramirez, going chest to chest. Well, Ramirez seems intent on keeping that right elbow as close to the body as he can. If it comes away, may see Fabricio Andre look for an attack from here. I always feel like Fabricio Andre is just too calm, with only 2.5 minutes remaining in this match.
Immediately start hopping over that bottom hook, yep.
2 minutos e meio, Fabrício.
Stop. Ramirez slips out and away and is back up to his feet once again. And there will be a neutral restart. The center of the match. The center of the mat, excuse me.
Reaching with weak hand a lot. Allows it to come close up into a shot. Minute 40 left.
Stop. Middle, same place.
Just less than 90 seconds remaining in this match now. Good footwork there from Fabricio Andre, going side to side. Good guard retention though by Fabian Ramirez, trying to get his back off the mat and scoot his hips away. Distance management is absolutely key, but the pressure unrelenting on Fabricio Andre. And the recovery though from Ramirez. And I feel that Andre is just being too kind here. He's actually giving Ramirez space to work.
Yeah, he's really tenacious in the attempt, and then he gets where he wants to be and wants to give it another go. Maybe he is looking for a very specific sequence here. Seems like the back is on his mind, but again, he wants to rack up a few sequences in a row. Take down all the way to the back maybe is what he's hoping for. But with 30 seconds left, you would think he would try and get one last look at a solid finish here. And maybe give too much away. You never know what Fabian has left in the tank. A flying attack may be in order for him.
Well, there's less than, well, there's coming up only about 20 seconds approximately left in this match. The clock is ticking. If there is any time for a last-ditch attack, it's now. As the 10-second countdown begins, Fabian Ramirez tries to get underneath the legs one more time. Going for what looks like a false reap setup here. Unable to get underneath the legs. Fabricio Andre ends the match on top. A solid 15 minutes of action there. Our second match of the evening that will go to a decision. We'll take a look at some of the best moments from that match as the judges' scorecards are collected.
And here we see a very animated Fabricio Andre take to the mat, and it was the wrestling that was the real story. A lot of huge takedowns from Hokage out here, showing off the work he's been putting in ahead of ADCC, including this massive dump, almost a full suplex, and then again looking for the back.
Here's the second takedown. That just a spectacular hip throw. One of the best I've ever seen on Who's Number One. Love to see it. But I got to say, I respect Fabian Ramirez for going down swinging this very effective outside heel hook attack. I mean, you could see that Fabricio Andre was able to clear the knee line. It was a brief moment of danger, but dangerous it was. But the wrestling, such a factor for Fabricio Andre in that match. And the referee will bring them back into the center so that we can make this official.
And let's go to the judges' after our 15-minute war. Your winner, by unanimous decision, representing Fight Sports, Hokage Fabrizio Andre.
Winner by decision in his Who's Number One debut, Fabrizio Andre from Manaus, Brazil. The second Fight Sports team member to win here tonight at Tezos Who's Number One. So, there is Victoria joining Fabrizio Andre, and now handed it over to Kendall Rusing for a word with our winner.
All right, we are here with Fabrizio Andre. We're going to have some help with translation as well. So first off, congratulations. Second of all, that was some of the best wrestling and takedowns we've seen on the Who's Number One stage. I think 5 or more takedowns. Really, really impressive. Do you think that you can take everyone down in your division?
Primeiro, parabéns pela sua vitória, e eu acho que eu nunca vi o wrestling tão bem feito, tanta queda bonita, acho que foram umas 5 quedas. Você acha que você consegue derrubar qualquer um, dar queda em qualquer um?
Primeiramente, queria pedir desculpas, meu inglês não está tão fluente, e eu acabei ficando um pouco nervoso nas horas das entrevistas, mas é algo que eu venho melhorando a cada dia, então, primeiramente, gostaria de dizer isso. Aí.
E das quedas?
Sim. E eu treino muito, não sei se eu posso derrubar qualquer pessoa, mas eu sei que a cada 10 entradas, uma pode ser que eu acerte.
First, I want to say I'm sorry. I'm trying to work on my English. I'm improving, but very slowly, so I got kind of nervous to do the interview. And second of all, I'm pretty confident that I can take a lot of people down. Out of, at least 1 out of 10 tries, I'm going to take someone down for sure.
Amazing. I think we're going to see more than 1 out of 10. Is there anything else you want to add before we go tonight?
Quer falar mais alguma coisa? O que você quiser falar?
Gostaria de agradecer a todos que estão apoiando a gente aí. Hoje a gente teve uma perda muito grande, que é de um grande ídolo nosso, que é o Leandro Lô. Então, a gente está prestando essa homenagem, fazendo o que ele fazia nos tatames, e é isso.
I want to say thank you for FloGrappling to give me the opportunity. And today we are having a very rough day for us with the loss of an idol in Leandro Lô. So we're trying to do our best here to do what he used to do in the mats, and just to pay homage to him.
Let's hear one more round of applause for Fabrizio. Thank you. Congratulations.
All right, so that is it for our free prelims here at Tezos Who's Number One, Gordon Ryan versus Felipe Pena, presented by Fat Tire. We'll be back with our main card, which you can watch exclusively on FloGrappling.com. Head on over to FloGrappling.com for 5 more submission-only no-gi grappling matches, including this one, Rodriguez versus Couch, coming up next. We'll be back after this break.
Tonight's event is sponsored by Swain Mats by Dolomir, the official mat of FloGrappling. Swain hybrid mats utilize a revolutionary, low-profile tatami vinyl to create the ultimate grappling surface. Experience the hybrid difference at dolomir.com.
This event is presented by Fat Tire, America's first certified carbon-neutral beer.
This Tezos Who's Number One is brought to you by Tezos, the energy-efficient blockchain and official partner of Flow Sports. Tezos, designed to evolve, built to empower. Visit Tezos.com to learn more.
My name is Jacob Couch. I'm a brown belt out of Pedigo Submission Fighting. Always looking for the finish, always trying to put on a show for the fans. You gotta have a spectator-friendly style if you want to get that bread.
What do you know about